66 million years ago, Earth was a kingdom of titans. An ecosystem perfected over 165 million years of dinosaur rule. Giants like Tyrannosaurus and Triceratops dominated every landscape. It was a dynasty that felt permanent, forged in power and scale. But then a shadow fell from deep space, a 6-mile-wide asteroid, moving at incomprehensible speed. Its arrival would end their world in a blinding, fiery flash. Yet, in the hellscape that followed, an unassuming creature, a different kind of dinosaur, would witness the fall of the gods and inherit the entire planet. This world on the brink is known as the Late Cretaceous. It is a mistake to imagine it as some primitive, struggling landscape. It was a complex, stable, and deeply interconnected world. The air was filled with a different kind of bird. Creatures called the enantiorniths, or opposite birds. They had feathers and wings, but many still had teeth and claws on their wings. They were just another successful branch of the sprawling dinosaur family tree. But hidden in the undergrowth, or perhaps along the shorelines,
the Cretaceous period,
lived another, less conspicuous group. We call them the Neornithes. These are the direct ancestors of every single bird alive today. They were not rulers. They were small, quick, and fragile. They likely scurried at the feet of the titans. They were creatures of the margins. Their entire existence was an exercise in avoiding the notice of the true masters of the planet. This world did not belong to them. They were simply surviving in it, waiting for an opportunity they could never have predicted. And the clock was ticking down on the old world. Then, in a single catastrophic moment, 165 million years of stability vaporized. The asteroid struck the Yucatan Peninsula with the force of 10 billion atomic bombs. The rock and the impactor were instantly annihilated, blasting a hole in the crust over 100 miles wide and 20 miles deep. This wasn't an explosion on Earth. It was an explosion of Earth itself. The sky over the Americas was flash-fried into a plasma curtain of superheated rock. The first killer arrived. Trillions of tons of molten ejecta were blasted back into space. This material arced across the globe, re-entering the atmosphere as a rain of glass. The friction heated the air to oven-like temperatures worldwide. It triggered a global firestorm, igniting the planet's vast forests. Anything on the surface was incinerated. The impact also triggered the largest earthquakes in history. Mega tsunamis, miles high, scoured the coastlines for thousands of miles. But the most profound killer was not the fire, nor the water. It was the darkness. The pulverized rock from the impact and the soot from the world's burning forests. Were hurled into the stratosphere, creating an impenetrable shroud around the planet. The sun vanished. Day turned into a perpetual, freezing night that would last for years. Photosynthesis stopped. The plants died first, from the base of the food chain. The oceans, starved of sunlight, became vast graveyards of plankton. The great herbivores, the triceratops and hadrosaurs, starved by the thousands. And when the herbivores fell, the apex predators like Tyrannosaurus rex had nothing left to hunt. Their size, their power, their specialization, the very things that made them rulers, became their fatal flaw. They were too big to hide. They needed too much food. The ecosystem that sustained them had been decapitated. The ecosystem that sustained them had been decapitated. And what of the other birds? The enantiorniths? Scientists believe they, too, perished. Their specialized, tree-dwelling lifestyles were annihilated when the forests burned. Their toothed beaks were useless in a world without their specific prey. The reign of the dinosaurs, in all its terrifying glory, was over, extinguished by rock, fire, and suffocating ash. The planet was left a barren, toxic, and silent wasteland. A world scrubbed clean of its masters, waiting for an inheritor. The world that emerged was a gray twilight. A planet of ash, silence, and acid rain. 75% of all species on Earth were gone. The Titans were shadows. Etched into the rock. But in this global graveyard, something stirred. The ancestors of modern birds. The neornites had somehow passed through the eye of the needle. How did they do it? How did a creature so fragile outlive a Tyrannosaurus rex? The answer wasn't strength, it was adaptation. They possessed a revolutionary piece of biological technology. A toothless beak. This seems simple, but in a world scoured of life, it was decisive. The toothed, opposite birds and non-avian dinosaurs were specialists, built to hunt specific prey. When that prey vanished, their teeth became useless relics. But a beak is the ultimate generalist tool. It can be a shovel, a pincer, a probe. It allowed the survivors to exploit the only food source left, the disaster biota. Think of fungi feasting on the endless rotting forests. Think of ferns, the first hardy plants to recolonize the ash. And, most importantly, seeds. Seeds are a miracle of nature. They are nutrient-packed time capsules. Designed to wait out an apocalypse. While the old rulers starved, the ancestors of birds were pecking through the ash, finding the tiny, concentrated packets of energy that would save them. Their beaks allowed them to crack open the planet's seed bank. Their survival, however, wasn't just about beaks. Their entire biology was a survival kit. They were small. They had low metabolic needs. A few seeds could fuel them. They were ground dwellers, able to hide in burrows or in deep rock crevices, sheltering from the toxic air. Their feathers, evolved for flight, served as perfect insulation in the cold, dark world. They were the ultimate minimalists, perfectly equipped to inherit a minimalist world. While the giants died of starvation and exposure, the birds endured, generation after generation, in the darkness. They were waiting for the sun to return. Slowly, painstakingly, the atmosphere began to clear. After years of darkness, sunlight once again touched the surface of the Earth. The long nuclear winter finally broke. And the survivors emerged from their burrows and shelters into a silent, empty world, an evolutionary year zero. The Titans were gone. The great marine reptiles were gone. The thrones of the planet, occupied for 165 million years, were vacant. This vast, empty world was a catastrophic opportunity. With no predators and virtually no competition, the small, ground-dwelling birds began a process of explosive change. We call it adaptive radiation, life's defiant answer to a vacuum. That simple, generalist beak was the template. Evolution began to sculpt it for new purposes. It became the hooked beak of a predator, the ancestor of eagles and hawks. It became the delicate probe of a nectar feeder. It became the powerful nutcracker of a parrot. Every ecological niche left open by the dinosaurs was rapidly filled by their own descendants. They reclaimed the skies. They reclaimed the forests. Some even returned to the water, becoming penguins. Others lost flight entirely, becoming giant runners like the ostrich. Or the fearsome, predatory terror birds that briefly ruled the land. Today, over 10,000 species of birds inhabit every corner of the globe. They are the only dinosaurs who survived the day the sky fell. Their story is the ultimate lesson in resilience. It teaches us that dominance is always temporary. That strength and size can become a fatal liability. And it proves that sometimes the true inheritors of the earth are not the strong, but the small, the generalist, and the endlessly adaptable. If you would like to join us on our next expedition into Earth's darkest hours in search of the light of life, consider joining our Researchers Guild by subscribing to the channel and let us know in the comments. What modern bird, from the hummingbird to the eagle, do you think best represents the incredible survival legacy of the dinosaurs?